Transformers collecting is really a journey overall. It's a medium that you meet tons of people throughout, experience conventions, battle eBay scalpers, but nothing, and I mean nothing, can compare to a good old-fashioned grail hunt. Everyone's got a grail, whether it be something as rare and fragile as a black Zarak.
You want to take it out of the box? I'll take it out of the box for you.
I'm touching it. To something as a complete Buster Prime from Revenge of the Fallen. Or you're like some people I know and could be something as mundane as a Beast Wars Power Hug. At the end of the day, everyone's grail is different. But one of mine truly is a special case. This is a figure that is not hard to come by, but is massively high in demand due to people hanging on to them, or just the sheer greatness of the figure. I'm of course talking about a little something called Galaxy Convoy. No, David, this is the new one. Show the old one. Show the old one. Ah, there we go. Now, for those wondering why this is so grail-tastic, let me tell you.
This figure is the Japanese release of one critically acclaimed Optimus Prime released in the Cybertron line in 2005. It is a very popular figure because of just how good it was. It's popular with my age group because a certain YouTuber that we all know and love once said it was his favorite figure of all time, and for good reason. Eventually, I got my hands on an incomplete version of the second American release, but it didn't scratch that itch. That is when my good friends at Transformerland, not sponsored, let me know that there was a boxed, not sealed Japanese version on their website.
Which brings us to today. 1 year later, we're finally getting a crack at this figure, and to start off, this vehicle mode is awesome! And already, I can already hear people immediately thinking,
what the hell am I looking at?
To that, I say, use your eyes! Looking at the detail here, this is way more than the average Optimus Prime. It's not a semi-truck, however it is flat-nosed. This is a fire truck.
Yep, you heard me. David, play the clip.
And brought back scan data of typical vehicles. This one's called a fire engine.
So yeah, even the show called it a fire truck. I know there are some people who don't care for Optimus as a fire truck, and to those people I say, to each your own, but just know your own is wrong. Anyway, Optimus being a semi is cool and all, but a fire truck I think is just really unique at this point, and I'm honestly here for it. So, detailing wise, there's a lot to unpack here on this guy. I mean, up front, you've got a very, very nice slitted type windshield. It's very unique for this design, and I'm honestly down for it. You got very different looking running lights and headlights on the front with, I'm assuming, what would be like flashing lights. Down here you've got a grill section with the hands kind of exposed, but at the same time, they blend in pretty well. Then you've got some piping here on the side there, as well as golden molded in wheels, which is very, very nice. You've got the doors molded in here. And then on top, you've got more running lights as well as a light bar, which is mostly the only thing that would tip you off that he's a fire truck in other modes. On the side here, you've got side windows, which we'll get to that later. That's very unique detailing come the robot mode. And then following the back here, you've got a lot of molded in detailing. This is a support for when he's stopped doing the fire truck stuff. And then you've got a lot of technical molded in greeblies and details, which is always welcome. And then on the back here, you've got the molded in taillights. However, they're not painted, but hell, I don't care. Taillights are red. And then on the sides, you've got the molded in also detail on, and painted, mind you, on the guns. And wow, this is one of the best detailed figures, period. And I left out Autobot logo right there on both sides. So this is a very, very well detailed figure overall. Feature-wise, you're going to strap yourself in because this is a leader class Galaxy Force figure. First off, it rolls phenomenally. Now, besides that is where we get to the good stuff. On the back section, you'll find two giant cannons. One is a blaster, and the other's a rail gun.
If this is how it's going to be when Optimus is a fire truck, I never want him to be a semi again.
On top, you'll find these familiar looking slots. These are cyber key ports.
Oh, wait. Sorry, this is the Japanese version. Take two.
These are what Galaxy Force refers to as force chip ports. So you take the aforementioned force chip and activate the gimmick, like so. It's very simple, really. You just take the force chip and slide it into the slot, and 2 more missiles will deploy. It's actually really nice on this side. Now this is where it gets crazy. So you take it and slide it in, and railgun activates. It is a really cool gimmick, and it would usually light up on the end there, but my battery compartment has some corroded coils, so yeah, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Now this last feature will require some transformation. So there's also this third mode of sorts. Yeah, sure. Flying fire truck. Okay, now I'd usually be like, oh, this is stupid, but I'm gonna let this one slide because it actually gets use in the show. And they do acknowledge how absurd it is, so I will let it slide. And one more thing, for the G1 purist in your life, you can actually take off the back part of the truck and give him a more G1 style look. It's not for me, but it's still there. Great job. Without further ado, let's transform him. Transformation is something of an interesting take on Optimus. Rather than the front becoming the chest, the side windows do, and the front side of the truck becomes the back, which is a bit of a curveball, but it amounts to a simple but satisfying transformation. Okay, so this robot mode's one of the best in the line. It's hefty, it's powerful, and it's substantial.
Unlike his previous series counterpart, who was a bit large. What? David, we can't say that.
Detail-wise, it's still Optimus Prime, for the most part. You still have the familiar red and blue with some yellow accents, which is good. There are some new things unique to this version, however. Specifically, the cab section being split in half on the shoulders and the wheels being basically all over the body. The head, though, is the thing I want to focus on. As far as I know, this is the first instance of Optimus having a mouth. And no, MPO1 doesn't count, and Energon wasn't meant to have a mouth. So yeah, he has a mouth, and you know what? I don't really like it. I don't know. I just don't care how it looks. Just doesn't really work on this design, and the red and black version doesn't do it any favors either. Hot take? I think the Bayverse mouth looks better, honestly.
But I'm biased because I grew up with this shit.
Feature-wise, he only keeps getting better. This little piece off of the cannon here can actually pop off and go right into his hand and be a smaller version of his ion blaster. And it's different, but I'm honestly here for it. And look at that. He holds it so well. Also, if the mouth bothers you like it bothers me, you can just pull this little tab on the back of his head and fold up a face mask. And yeah, that basically fixes it all for me. That's a win.
And last but not least,
the chest opens the correct way to show a Matrix annex. That's awesome! And to top it all off, the Matrix is 100% removable. This thing just keeps on delivering the good stuff.
now I can't say that he's the first one to do it because this guy came out a year prior. However, I will say that Galaxy Convoy is the better figure overall. We'll get to you eventually. Now, articulation, this guy is loaded for his time. The head is on a swivel, which is always nice, and it's a nice tight swivel. Now, his shoulders are on universal ratchets, and he goes all the way around as well. He's got a bicep swivel, his fingers go in and out, his elbows are ratcheted as well. He's got universal hips, they go in and out. And he's got a thigh swivel. Can't almost speak right now with how crazy this is. My knee, his knee is also ratcheted to 90 degrees, and his foot moves a little bit, and it is also ratcheted, believe it or not. Holy cow. This thing is absolutely loaded for its time. Honestly, there's honestly not much more you need him to do. Maybe besides an ab crunch and honestly, do you really want to figure this old to have an ab crunch? The answer is no. You don't need an ab crunch on this guy. This is a perfectly articulated figure for what he does.
Now here, people are probably wondering that this is Grail tier, and to that I say, we're not done yet. This, children, is why this thing is such a celebrated part of the collecting scene. The super mode. And for good reason. This not only allows him to fly, but it grants him the ability to use his big ass guns, and it even evens out his proportions a little more. Seriously, I shouldn't have to explain to you how awesome this super mode is.
If that didn't sell you, I'm gonna let TJ Omega finish you off.
Super booties. You cannot go wrong with super booties.
As if the head didn't look good enough with the face mask, Super Mode also adds in these little wings on the side of the head, which is awesome. And all the gimmicks still work. You still have access to the Force Chip ports, you can open the Matrix Annex, and you can even give him the smaller gun. The only thing you're not meant to do really is flip the face mask down. I mean, it can be done, but why would you want to do that? Why would you do that? Don't do that.
And at this point, if you really think the mouth looks better, I'm convinced you hate happiness.
And one more thing. This guy is huge. Like, really substantial leader class figure.
Let me put this into perspective for you. Here he is, and here he is with a modern leader class.
Overall, this figure is absolutely wonderful. It's not hard to see why this was my grail. This version of Optimus Prime is an absolute all-timer for me, and the fact that this is the Japanese version makes it a more accomplished acquisition for me.
And this is unscripted, but those of you who are wondering, the only difference between the Japanese and the American version is pendant wings and a more accurate cyber key to the show, so there's no reason to go hunting that one if you can just find the American version complete. Editor's note, that's all.
But for real, this is one of those figures that is so good, making new versions of it have come off as try-hardish and half-baked results. If you want to know why, just go watch my friend That Toy Guy's video on Commander Stars. He'll tell you how great that turned out.
Thankfully they haven't broken, but... Why are you designed like this? There's the other hand. Here are the other two fingers. They broke.
To say the least, Toy Guy didn't have that great of a time with that one. But this one, I will recommend this to everyone. I truly believe that this figure is worthy of the Holy Grail title.
As always, guys, I've been Treebot Reviews. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll see you all in the next one. Keep growing your collections. There's no joke. We're just doing spy changers next.